DJ Fargis.
DJ Fargis.
Are you ready?
Yeah!
Back by popular demand.
Everybody listening all over the world.
Oh, that was quick.
Well, you know, it's a button that I like to press and it just makes things happen, so...
You like pushing buttons, do you, Plasma?
I do, I've got a simple mind. All the little things in life make me happy, okay? Just let me have this one thing.
Okay, we'll let you push the buttons.
Yeah!
Hive365.co.uk.
Hello everybody, welcome to HiveCast, episode 2. This time we are joined by Fargis.
Hello-y.
And we are also joined by Cool Guy.
The one, the only, the man, the myth, the legend himself.
Alright, calm down.
Who's that then? Who's that other guy?
Oh, Fargis, I'm so disappointed.
Are you new to Hive? Have you just started? Welcome. How are you doing? I'm Plasma.
The big
Yay,
F.
Plasma.
Right, let's go into the first section, which we are going to do, which is games. Who wants to do first?
I can take this one.
I was going to say, I'm going to go first. You better not say the subject that I've already prepared.
No, I can guarantee I'm not going to be talking
about
what you're talking about.
How do you know what I'm talking about? You haven't got a clue what I'm talking about.
Because, and no offense to you, Fargis, I think if it's not Second Life, that it's not game news that you can be talking about.
If you were here, Cool, I would slap you. No, I do talk about games. Other than that, thank you.
I know. I'm just screwing around.
That concern in his voice, though, the stuttering.
I know, right?
I'm wrong. Oopsie.
You're lucky you're in another country, Cool.
Anyway.
Well, as long as it's nothing to do with Fallout 76, then you can talk about it.
Oh no, it's not Fallout 76. I actually
right.
haven't had a chance to play it yet. It's been too... it's not necessarily my... It's not my cup of tea. I haven't had a chance to even really play through Fallout 4. I've earned on it fairly quickly, so...
Alright, so, okay. I'll talk about that in a minute then. Let's do yours as you jumped in there first.
Yeah, so what I'm talking about today is Star Citizen, if you guys have heard of it.
Yeah, Star Citizen, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just going to kind of go over some of the recent updates, and it's really interesting, and I'm really enjoying the game. So 9 days ago, version 336 was released, and very happy that was released. The patch notes is what I'm going to be primarily reading from, and as well as my experiences in the game shortly after. Some of the things that they finally fixed, which were huge bug fixes, were a couple of the memory leaks. They had a couple aesthetical fixes for music at certain places, as well as a lot of stability fixes on the server end. The biggest updates for those that haven't played in a while come from 335, though, where they actually added more to the universe. So for those that have been playing Star Citizen in the early days, you know that you never actually joined the Stanton system, which is the solar system that Crusader, which is one of the planets, is, and Port Olisar, which is the default spawn point for everybody, is located. You only had the choice to start at Crusader. They have pushed through and future-proofed a lot of updates recently, where you are now able to join the Stanton system, and if you open up your Mobi-Glass, opening up your map, you're actually able to zoom out and see the entire solar system. They have now actually unlocked the map markers for such places such as Microtech and ArcCorp. These are literally on the other side of the system from where Crusader is and where your default spawn point is. Luckily, depending on the craft you have, you are able to quantum travel to those places in relatively close to 5 to 10 minutes of real-time quantum travel. Unfortunately, those places are still disabled, as in when you get there, there are a couple planetary beacons that you could quick warp to, but there's actually no planet there. I was disappointed when I found that out the other day. However, it was still a pretty good trip, and it's nice to be able to fly out past just Crusader and the surrounding moons. They've pushed a few planets into the system that we were able to join. One of them was Lorville. And I want to say that was on... I think Lorville is part of this new planet called Hurston, which I guess is a big... it says Lorville is a large city area. Such only has one legal area for landing and port entry. Space above residential and commercial areas are protected by a no-fly zone. Players will be warned when they are entering that zone by HUD warnings, visual indicators, and increasing audio alerts. If they continue into the zone, the ship will be destroyed. So they the big thing with Lorville that I've heard is the bartenders. When you actually go into the bar, you can interact with the NPCs in a more realistic sense, and it's something that they haven't really worked out bugs for, or even really implemented features for until recently in the game. So far, it's just been kind of preset things that you would say with NPCs, or even if you can talk with some of the NPCs, a lot of them have just had various quotes that they'll say as you pass them or if you get close. So getting those added is really, really fun. And part of the patch notes even says that you now have expanded interactions with some items, which I've noticed myself just going through and getting into my ship.
The only experience I've had with that game, I've seen some YouTubers playing it, and they actually showed that base, I think, that you're talking about, cool guy, and it looks absolutely amazing. When they were trying to dock, my family member wants me to get the game and to play it, and I'm like, there's no way I'd be able to dock. I can't do that. I'll end up crashing. But I mean, that's quite a serious game, isn't it? They don't like you crashing. They want you to do it properly, don't they?
Well, actually, no. They have a feature, and it's the N button on your keyboard when you hold it and you're over a landing pad. Most ships have an auto land feature where it'll automatically land you. Because I can't land with anything. Like, I'm horrible at landing.
I would be
and when I land on a planet surface, if I land on a planet surface, it's going to be a hard landing for the ship, but most of the time the ships can take it. It's
That's the same sort of thing when I see like people playing Elite Dangerous and things like that when they're going into a starbase or whatever. They're, having to line yourself up with that moving entrance, just that, especially with some of the control things that people use for it. Like, I don't know how people manage it.
Yeah,
it's a lifestyle. Like it's a lifestyle more than a hobby in a game for some people. And you look at the same people that play games like Euro Truck Simulator. They have full driving stations set up in their home. The stations that cost well over $1,000.
Not everybody, though.
Yeah.
No, of course not everybody. I play with my mouse and keyboard. You think I can afford a steering wheel?
But then with that
I'd
game, I mean, although the videos that I've seen on it, and I think we've sort of read stuff on it, I know that they say that you can have non-playable characters fly your aircraft for you and things. I might get mixed up with another game. I might be getting mixed up with another game because we was watching another game recently to do with space. Is it on that one?
Well, you can have other players fly your stuff. Yeah. Yeah,
that's what I was going to ask. Can you have actually like friends on your ship that, you know, so they can fly it and stuff?
Yeah, you can. If you can actually add people to a contact list and they'll have access to your ship. However, if you unlock the ship through the pilot controls, they can actually random people can just open your doors and get in, and even if I'm correct, if it's unlocked, they can even get into the pilot seat. But in one of the ships, and I want to say it is the Great Cutlass. I'm trying to find if they actually talk about which one it is. There's some ship that they have that's actually in everybody's inventory to take out right now temporarily, and I think they're testing it. But it's kind of like a big planetary transport ship. Like, you can have like 8 or 9 people sitting in seats in the back cargo hold, open up side doors and just jump out without having to open the primary hatch. And in that specific vehicle, you have a pilot seat, a co-pilot seat, and a gunner seat as well in the front, as well as a bed. So I could be piloting the ship. I could have a co-pilot that's monitoring our energy levels, our fuel levels, our communications with any of the bases that we're passing, and at the same time have a third friend in the gunner seat ready to fire at anybody. And that's in addition to the primary weapons that I, as the primary pilot, have access to.
Yeah, it looks a pretty cool game, I must admit. I've seen it. I like the sort of trading game where you like buy something cheap and then sell it on it more expensive on another planet or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, and that's what it is too. You know, you normally go to one of the places, at least from when I was doing that, because I haven't had a chance to really do that kind of stuff lately. But when I was working with those trading terminals, you would always go to one of the bases called Levski, and it was always the base where I think the lore of it was the criminals always were there. So that was always where you were going to buy stuff the cheapest, and then you would take it and you would sell it at Port All-Star, because that's always where people are going to buy it the most expensive. And depending on what you were buying and what you were selling, you know, the place would differ. And in all honesty, it was RNG to a point. You know, sometimes you would get lucky and it'd be really high. Other times you just barely break even.
Do you spend a lot of real money in the game, or can you get a lot of stuff with in-game currency?
So at the moment, the game is still considered early access, as Steam would put it. When you go to Fly Now, they give you 2 starter packs you can choose from. Both are $45. So basically, the game itself costs $45, and depending on which one you pick, you're either going to get what's called an Aurora MR, which is kind of a storage transport ship. It's got a few weapons, but not many. And then you have the Mustang Alpha pack, which is it's kind of a racing ship, which they haven't fully implemented the full spec of racing in the game yet. There's all kinds of other ships that you can buy, and on the Robert Space Industries website, if you go to it's called the Pledge Store, you can see all the different things you can buy. And they just got all kinds of stuff. Now, my friend personally has spent probably close to $1,000 in the game, and that's just because he supports the project. Yeah, it's a lot of money, and don't get me wrong, but the way that they're kind of swinging this is I could go ahead and buy what's called a Constellation Aquila, which is, I'm looking on their website right now, and it's a bigger ship, right? It's a nicer ship. It's got more guns, it's a little bit faster, it's got more storage space, and it can hold more people. And they have different variations of that ship. I want to say... Yeah, so the Constellation Aquila is currently $310. That's US. So it's a lot of money, but what you're doing is you're supporting the game development, because this is basically their donation system. Is you're pledging to this. So instead of using Kickstarter, they run it all on their own site. And when you buy this, you get in-game ships. And right now, some people have looked at it as kind of a pay to win, but there is no objective to really win. It's just what you have better ships. The $310 ship here is, you know, like I said, it's one of their top of the line ships. But the catch here is that I could get that same ship in the game. The difference between getting these ships, because there are ways that you can rent and buy ships in game if you make enough currency and you grind hard enough, is that right now, since they're still in testing, they do world or universe resets roughly every couple months, if not to 6 months. I don't think that the universe database has really been around for more than a year before they reset it, and that's because some big updates require them to literally wipe the slate clean. That's why you're considered a tester when you're doing this. You're in the public testing universe. because you're testing the game. So these pledges, these ships that you buy when you pledge to the game, those are the only persistent ships that you keep. So I spend $310, I get this awesome ship. When the world resets, I don't lose it. But if I get in the game, that same ship, I'll probably lose it when they do a world reset. I'll have to grind all over again and then buy it again.
Oh,
that's turned off.
Is that only at the moment, or will that be a thing when the game's
No, that's
actually
only at the moment because they're still technically in alpha.
Yeah.
Like I mean, if you see it, show what the version of the game is right now. They're in alpha 3.3.6.
Yeah.
I don't know if beta is going to be coming in 4.0 or not, but that's pretty much how they're doing it. It's still in a heavy testing phase. And this is one thing that they did here that like a game like No Man's Sky originally did not do. No Man's Sky, especially the Steam game, they rushed it, they pushed it out, and I played the game the first week it came out. And my first thought was, what the hell do I do here? I collect rocks.
Yeah.
That's exactly the same reaction I had with games like the only game was it Space Engineers. I've got that game. I've tried to play it, but I'm like,
Space Engineers is a game that you have to play with friends.
Yeah. I kind of figured that, but even then, like, where do you start? What do you do first?
I've played Space Engineers.
Space Engineers takes some creativity, and I'm not saying you don't have it, because I don't have it. Like, I don't play that game unless I'm playing with a couple of my friends, and I try and help. I basically do what they tell me to do because I don't know how the hell to build a decent ship, and that's pretty much what it is. You have to have a little bit.
I've not built a decent ship. I've just made fun ones at the moment on that.
I'll probably make something that is minimalistic but works, or something like that, where it'll look really clunky but it'll do the job that it needs to be done. It won't look pretty at all, but...
A game you need to look at with that mentality is Robocraft.
Oh, Robocraft. I've had my time with Robocraft, and it's not the same.
That game sort of died now, isn't it?
Space Engineer.
Yeah, I suppose so. But Robocraft is it's had its time. They've changed it way too much for it to be fun and even playable for a new person anymore. So
what's funny is I have the lifetime premium, so.
Yeah, I got the premium on that, and just as I stopped playing it, so that was a bit of a waste of money.
Right, shall we move on to your topic, Fargis?
Yes. Pretty much everybody may have heard about it, maybe not have heard all the details about it. But this is mainly for people that haven't heard about it yet, which I think is probably in the minority. But by the sounds of it, Cool Guy is not up to date with things to do with Fallout. I'm talking about the Fallout 76 Power Armor Edition. I take it you've not heard about that, Cool Guy.
No, I'm really out of the loop when it comes to Fallout 76. I got a chum that I work with that has kind of kept me somewhat in the loop, but I don't really press for that.
Yeah, well, it's not a game that I play. It's just news that I've heard about, and I thought it'd be a fun topic to bring up. Basically, Cool Guy, they brought out what they call a Power Armor Edition. And that's basically, you get the game Fallout 76 in with it, but then you get like a goodie pack where they give you like a mask that you can wear, like head mask. I think it's like a whole head thing, I think. Yeah. And it's basically, as it says, it's a collector's edition. Well, it went out for the grand old price of $200 American dollars. Now, people have started to receive their packs now, and they were due to get a canvas, really cool looking bag. The bag is actually an item in the game. So they were going to give you a real life item, and it's a canvas bag, and it looks pretty good. So people were really, really excited to receive their packs. But as they've opened their packs, they haven't received the canvas bag that they were originally promised. They have got and been given a nylon bag. And it is so bad, this nylon bag. It is creased. It basically looks like a carrier bag, a plastic shopping carrier bag. It is horrendous. So, and they've paid $200 for this pack. And obviously the people that have received this pack have now complained. You know, this is not the bag that we ordered, not what we wanted. Now I've got to try and pronounce their name right. Bethesda. I can't pronounce their name right. I can't say it. Bethesda. Yeah, Bethesda. Their response to people complaining basically had turned around and said that they couldn't afford to give out the canvas bags. So they gave out the nylon bags instead. But then obviously these people are still in uproar. That's not a good enough answer. Just because you've now turned around and said that you can't afford to make these bags, you have sold the packs already. We paid $200 for these packs. We expect to get what we were promised.
Yeah.
So,
and Bethesda being such a big company as it is, that really puts a sour taste in my mouth. Yeah. Because it's one of those. It's $200. The cost of these bags should not be exceeding that, anyways.
No.
Right.
And I mean, we know the game's not up to scratch either. And this is just a bigger slap in the face, isn't it?
Yeah.
But then I don't know even if Plasma knows this next bit that I'm going to mention. But yeah, Bethesda has basically said that for compensation, they're gonna give everybody that has purchased. Yeah, you have heard this bit.
Yeah,
they'll give everybody that's purchased this $200, as I say, Power Armor Edition. They're gonna give them 500 atoms, which is their currency in the game. So they're going to give everybody 500 atoms. But the sad part of it is, for a canvas bag, the item that is actually in the game, that is 700. Yeah. They can't even afford to get the replica in the game.
And what makes it even worse, right, that duffel bag in the game is part of a whole suit that you can get. And that whole suit is a postman suit with that duffel bag, and the whole other thing that goes with that is the fact that people have been receiving their special editions way later than they've actually been said to be delivered. So you're getting not enough atoms to be able to actually buy the bag in the game that you should be having in real life, but you're also paying for something that you're it was late anyway, so it's just a whole other level. Yeah.
They've really screwed up, haven't they?
They have.
This doesn't surprise me, though. And I say this for one reason and one reason only. And this is very much demonstrated by any other game that Bethesda has released. People have been screaming about it since Fallout. Bethesda had it working on Fallout 3, didn't they? No, they started on Fallout New Vegas.
Yeah.
Right? People have been screaming about it in New Vegas. And as much as I love New Vegas, and they really do, right? They hit it on the nail pretty well. You know, the long delay that they had between that and Fallout 4. I've heard a lot of great things about Fallout 4. I personally burned myself out in a few different ways, and that's my own fault. I can't diss the game. I've heard many good things about it. I've heard it gets boring after some time, right? But any game does after so long. There's only so much you can do. What disappointed me was when I heard they built Fallout 76 and they tried to do what basically Fallout... what was the original multiplayer game Obsidian had released for Fallout? It was in the Fallout 1 and 2 style, where it was top-down RTS based, but it was multiplayer. You know, it was the only online Fallout to this point. And when I heard that Fallout 76 was released using the what was it? The Elder Scrolls engine, I was appalled. Because even with the game that was built for, they had nothing but issues. And the fact that it feels like they took such a shortcut by using the same engine for this multiplayer game, which they already knew had issues, and they didn't fix them because I've heard nothing but instability issues with their server. It removes any urge I even remotely thought I would have had to buy that game. Because now, not only is it, was I not going to buy the game until at least I had played Fallout 4 through and through, so that I had the full experiences, but now I know that it's on a shitty engine that needed to never come back. And I'm not dissing Elder Scrolls, right? Elder Scrolls Online, I heard, was pretty good for what they had to work with. People have been memeing and trolling Bethesda for years because of how their engines are, and their world, and their graphics textures. There are a lot of stereotypes about Bethesda games, and it's sad when most of them are true.
But it's not just that, though. I mean, they're saying that they've used the sort of enemies that they used in Fallout, the one that you were saying, Fallout 4. And if you remember in that game, some of the enemies were quite difficult to kill. That's why you needed it all slowed down, and so you could actually, focus on them and kill them. But in Fallout 76, they still got the same structure where you really need them to be slowed down a little bit to kill them, but you haven't got the slow down part because it's online, it's live.
Right, you can't, and this is one of those. The only game that I've seen that can run a feature similar to basically VATS is, if you guys have heard of Double Action Boogaloo.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
Yeah, you earn slowdown time, you hit the time, and everybody in the game slows down except for you. And obviously that's not practical in a Fallout game. And this is why Fallout as a multiplayer model, at least in the way that they are running it as a I don't know, would this be considered real-time strategy, or would this be considered first person or third person?
I think it's real time, I think.
Having something like that, it's not feasible. And I can understand this is why something like this hasn't been released. And I run and I'm on many different Fallout groups and pages and forums. And I have seen time and time again when we have gotten into a discussion about Fallout multiplayer that there's just no feasible way to do it and incorporate all the features that make Fallout the game it is, the reason why Fallout 3 and the reason why Fallout New Vegas were so successful. You cannot implement those same features. VATS is just one of countless features that you could implement.
Because, also in it, it's got the boy thing that you've got on your arm.
Yeah, the Pit Boy.
Yeah, the Pit Boy. You know how much information is in that? The information isn't any less in this, but when you usually go into your Pit Boy in
it pauses the game.
Fallout 4, it pauses the game. But it doesn't do that in Fallout 76. So you're there looking at your bloody Pit Boy trying to, get your health up or trying to eat.
Somebody just comes up from behind and whaps you in the back of the head and kills you.
Exactly. That's exactly it. And that's why it's just unplayable, and it's just really, really bad. I've heard so many things slag that off because of that alone.
The only other thing I've heard about Fallout 76 that really peeves me, and this is a lack of consideration kind of thing, is that with Fallout 76, I heard one of the bigger complaints was that there's not really anybody to interact with. The NPCs aren't there yet because you just came out of you were one of the first vaults that opened, right? So aside from other players, you're not really going to interact with any other NPCs. And although, okay, I get that, right? For the timeline of everything, I can understand that being
But the thing is, you're supposed to be the first ones out of the vault. Why can't they have NPCs also being the first ones out of the vault?
That is a very good point.
Yeah. What would you do if you were in that real life situation? You would pull together. You would do jobs together to try and and build something for the future people.
Well, and
that
I
are
think that the
coming out.
mentality of that is that the other players are these other vaults that you would
Yeah, but it
technically
just
be coming
doesn't
out of.
work. It just doesn't work, though, does it? Because it's just players.
Well, no, because you're talking with
Like,
players, right? Players suck, and that's the best way to put it, right?
Exactly.
But at the same time, it's not. It would be, I guess, unfair if you look at it like you're a player who is discovering these other NPC vaults that basically come at or that follow you like what we would consider companions. The issue with that is that it would become too overpowered at some point, or it wouldn't be powerful enough. I can see many different flaws, but what I was getting at with my original comments were that from what I heard, they're going to be basically releasing the game in segments, so that as time progresses, IRL, they're going to release patches to the game that radically change the world and progress the timeline in the game. Now, as much of an innovative style as that is, and I kind of like it, you are going to run into issues with people like me who don't have the game yet, right? I haven't gotten this beginning experience, and I'm going to get dropped into a server that has been, the timeline is no longer at the beginning, and I don't work through the beginning to where we're at. No, I start where we're at, where there are more pieces. And although I might personally find that more favorable, or other people that have started the game in the beginning might find it more favorable, you are now in a spot where you are not getting what I would consider the full experience of the game.
Yeah.
And I don't like that Bethesda is taking this route, because you now are limited to either buy the game now before they patch it and hope you can get as much done so you can experience things, or don't buy it at all. Because if you have a similar mentality to me, you wouldn't want to buy the game in 2 years when they've released, 4 or 5 major patches to the timeline of the game, to where it's going to be like you're going to go in and you're not going to know what the hell to do. Or there's going to be NPCs.
It's the same sort of thing that I was saying to my partner about the other day. I've been playing Destiny 2 recently, and
me too.
we've been saying about what's the point of Destiny 2? Why couldn't they have just done an update to Destiny 1 to bring this story into the game that we've already got? But the thing is that so much changes in Destiny 2 that you couldn't do a rework update on Destiny 1 to bring this storyline in without having to radically change the base game as it is, and make it so that if someone wanted to play the original story for Destiny 1, you wouldn't be able to, because it's already all gone and Destiny 2's story.
But I've never played Destiny 1, but I am actually playing Destiny 2 at the moment and loving it, I must say.
It's pretty good, yeah.
I did hear
someone's
good
begging for an intro.
Let's bring in the Snapwalk now.
I suppose we better add.
Hello, everybody. See, it's rude to speak before I'm introduced, so I'm just sitting here like, okay, here we are.
You caught me in the middle of a rant.
You did. You caught it.
Well, I was waiting. I knew Sonico was talking, and I was waiting on him to intro me, but then he didn't do it.
It's kind of what I was trying to aim
I don't
for.
think I've ever heard him called Sonico.
Lots of people call me different names. I've got people who call me just Boom, people who call me Sonic, people who call me Sonico.
I could call you Peanut.
I mean, it's close, I guess.
Anyway, I don't mean to derail the conversation. Y'all were talking about Destiny 2, right? I've got that game.
Well, the original concept, or the original thing was griping a little bit about Fallout 76, and then Plasma kind of took it sideways with comparing it to how Destiny 2 was created over Destiny 1.
Right, I joined up. I heard a little bit of the Fallout 76 talk. I have not played that one yet myself.
Well,
probably not going to
That
after
was
I
what
heard
was
about
getting
all
around
of the feedback. Seriously, I've heard nothing but bad things about that game.
Yeah.
But anyway.
I think Plasma's got a point though, because and Cool, because I mean basically what you were saying, Cool, was that if they, you miss this beginning chunk of where you are surviving and being the first ones out, if you wait until the next update or the update after that, you do miss this first chunk. And basically what Plasma was saying, that, you know, if they had done that with Destiny, that very thing could have happened, but they decided to keep it as two separate games.
And when you think about it, the only real, this just kind of popped up in my mind, and when you think about it, the only, look at games, okay, GTA 5, right? This is a perfect example of how a game like this can be implemented. You have your single story mode, right? Yeah. Which, in all honesty, Fallout 76 could realistically have this, where they patch the world to allow further storylines as you go, right? And then you have the multiplayer world, which is 100% separate. When you go into multiplayer in GTA 5, you go out of the single player world and you get dropped into the server side.
And you don't even play as the same characters.
Exactly.
Right.
And I guess I like that for a few different reasons. And a lot of the modding community will agree with me on this side, on the one side of things, where you have separation between being able to run different mods. I'm still a Nexus mod manager, kind of, or a Nexus mod user, especially when it comes to my Fallout New Vegas and Fallout 3 instances, where I like to mod my system. Now, Fallout 4 definitely took it in a different direction by allowing the players to mod. However, I don't know the scene on this one, so I may be speaking out of place. But Fallout 76, it doesn't seem like you're going to be able to mod the world as much as you could. If anything, it's only a few aesthetical and appearance sides on the client side only, because you can't really edit anything in the world that's on the server.
Exactly, because it's real life. It's
on a shared server where other people obviously may have different mods. You're going to see something that they don't see, or vice versa, and it's not possible. And there's not even a.
They could always handle it the way that Valve handles it. If you just download the mods for whatever server you're joining.
Yeah, I suppose so, but then again,
that would
probably
that would require actually having self-hosted servers and sharing server code, which we all know Bethesda's not going to share that. What's that?
Fallout 76 doesn't have dedicated servers.
Nothing on Bethesda's side of things would ever really have dedicated servers. I don't think you could set up even like an Elder Scrolls server, can you?
Well, Elder Scrolls isn't a Bethesda game, is it? I thought it was developed by another company.
It's Bethesda.
Yeah.
Well, no. I know Elder Scrolls as in like the IP is, but I'm talking about the Elder Scrolls Online, because Skyrim and Oblivion and Morrowind and all those don't even have online. I didn't think Bethesda was developing Elder Scrolls Online.
Well, Bethesda's
am I wrong there?
Bethesda's using the same engine as Elder Scrolls. Like
really? I didn't know that.
The Fallout 76 engine is the Elder Scrolls Online engine, which was my first point that I had already talked about how there were enough issues with that as it was. Yeah. But Bethesda.
Yeah, because the Elder Scrolls Online didn't even feel like Skyrim at all.
Well,
so that's why I thought it was different.
Well, this is one of the things that Fargis was talking about. If you played Fallout 76, it doesn't feel like Fallout. When you go into the batch system, it doesn't slow down. When you go into your Pip-Boy, it doesn't pause the game, because you can't. It's an online environment. So, it's similar to Elder Scrolls Online versus Skyrim. There are changes that doesn't even make it feel like it's the same game. And
that's why it didn't have as much success.
Right, and I don't know if maybe... And talking about this more and more makes me think, I swear to God, Blizzard thought that... Not Blizzard. Oh God, why did I say Blizzard? Bethesda thought that it was, that maybe they would get away with it because the lore was different. But in all honesty, it comes down to the mechanics, and it always does. The storyline's nice. The storyline's always a good touch. The flavor text, the lore. I love reading that. And a lot of people in the Fallout community, this is why I say that they might be different. A lot of people in the Fallout community love the lore and storyline. It's a pinnacle of the Fallout community. How many OC original content Facebook pages exist? I run 4 of them. One of them was Vault Tech Inc., which is one of the biggest ones that is out there. With I think 12,000 likes plus. And stuff like that. And I've been part of RP pages where we take the lore of the game and expand on it in our own. So yeah, Fallout might have more of a lore-centric player base. And maybe that's why they thought they could get away with something like this. But obviously, with the uproar that's coming in, they're failing. They overstepped wrong, and I don't know.
It'll be interesting to see where this goes.
it's going to be interesting to see where they take this. Whether they actually cover their asses, double down, and either making a public apology, which we all know they're good at doing, or they actually buckle down and fix the game.
Fallout 76, I just don't know about anymore because, even with the older games, I just couldn't get into them. It's not really ever been my sort of game. But,
not everybody is gonna be on a certain franchise, right? Fallout 76 was obviously geared towards the audience that wanted a Fallout multiplayer.
Yeah.
The people that everybody was telling would not work, right? These are the people that were complaining and griping about it all over the Facebook pages, and the realistic were going, no, this isn't going to work. This is the reasons why. Just listen to us. Yeah. And they obviously made enough noise, and Bethesda obviously had a couple ideas that they thought they were going to be able to swing that in, and we have Elder Scrolls with Death Claws. like honestly, that's just so it works.
Right, I suppose we're quite deep into the recording already, so let's move on to Snapple. Do you have anything to add gaming-wise or anything like that?
Well, I've been, my usual game is World of Warcraft, and so I've been hard at work there, as per usual, even though this expansion sucks so far. We'll see if this has been repaired. And do any of y'all play WoW at all?
No, it's really hot.
I played for a month.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, I played for like a month. My friends kind of got like a month head start on me, and this was right before I went off to my basic training. And I bought the 3-month card, and yeah, it was a waste of like 2 months right there, because I didn't really play the other 2 months. I was already gone, and I didn't really level up fast enough to really help with them, so I just lost interest in the game personally.
I can understand that. It's hard to really get into an MMO like that if you don't know people already playing, which was lucky enough for me to happen. And I got addicted to the game in 2008, and
how much money
have ever stopped since. I don't want to think about it.
Exactly. I don't want to think about it. Yeah, that's exactly what I would never.
I've only ever paid my monthly subscription, nothing else aside from that. But still, you look at the monthly subscription for the past 10 years. Yeah, I'm coming up on my 10-year anniversary, really, for starting to play WoW.
Oh my god! But then it's like when you stop, when you think, well, I've paid enough. I'm not going to pay the monthly subscription anymore. That's it. It's over. That game's gone.
Yeah,
well, everything freezes, and you can always come back later.
But still, then you have to start paying again.
And it's easy to justify the cost, especially when you look at it like, hey, it's $15 a month. That's 50 cents a day. When you say it like that, it's easy to just.
That's a lot of money.
It is a lot of money, especially in 2018. I really think they should bring the price of the subscription down. It's way too expensive in 2018, and it's turning most prospective players away, especially when they would really enjoy it.
Years.
See, I bought the $30. The $30 for 3 months. So it was, down $10 per month.
But anyway, it's not worth playing right now anyway. The current patch is awful. It seems that Blizzard is kind of going through a similar up and down pattern that they usually do. Every other patch seems to be good, and not patch, every other expansion seems to be good. So, we're in the downward swing right now. Well, hopefully the next one will be better. Or they'll fix this one with some patches. We never know, but we'll see.
But you're still paying.
And I'm still paying, yeah, because I enjoy the game itself. There's a certain aspect, there's raiding. I'm a big raider. I love bringing a whole team of 20 players together and coordinating the fight in a way that everyone works together and kills the boss. It's like a dance almost, and everybody's got to hit their steps correctly. And that's what really loves me. There's nothing really else out there that does that. Exactly. I haven't seen any other game that has like a group of 20 players all working together at the same time to down a boss. And if the other games are just MMOs, like WoW, and if I'm going to play an MMO, I might as well just play WoW.
Yeah.
Because the other ones suck. I mean, that's just the fact of life. They try to advertise themselves as WoW killers, and that they're they have this and this over WoW, but the fact of the matter is, at the end of the day, WoW has 10 times the numbers the other ones have in terms of subscribers. It's not even close.
Yeah.
But yeah, enough of that. It's a 14-year-old game, and most people don't play it anymore. So I'm sure there isn't much listener base for that. I've been playing Kingdom Hearts also. I'm excited for Kingdom Hearts 3 coming out next month. I recently bought a PlayStation 4 actually, and so I never thought I would actually be able to experience the entire series, but now I will because I decided to splurge on the console. First time I bought a console since the Nintendo Wii in 2007. So I'm kind of excited.
Yeah, I mean, I've not been interested in any console up until the Switch, and I'm actually surprised I'm saying that, because normally I'm not interested in like Nintendo's consoles because of their closed game set. Because a lot of the time, like if you look back at like the Wii and the Wii U, a lot of their games were Nintendo only games, so they were only focusing on like the Mario games and all that sort of thing.
Well, and a lot of studios didn't like having to deal with the motion controls and gyroscopes and everything. It was more profitable to just focus on Xbox and PlayStation.
Yeah, but with the Switch now,
where you had PlayStation and had Xbox only games. A good example.
Right, and that's another point I wanted to make. Another reason I bought a PS4. I have a bomb-ass PC. My PC is amazing. I can play everything that I want on my PC.
Yeah.
But PS4 seems to have the better exclusive library. It seems that pretty much all the Xbox, quote, exclusives are also on PC.
Yeah.
And so if I want to play a game, like I want to play Spider-Man, if I want to play Red Dead Redemption 2, if I want to play... there's other PS4 games I know. I'm blanking on them right now because I'm just buying one now. But most of the good exclusive games are on PlayStation, so I bought a PS4.
Yes, that's why I'm interested in the Switch this time round, though, because they've actually branched out, because they now have that sort of ability to have games such as Doom on there. They've got Doom on there. They've got Skyrim. They've got Fortnite. They've got Rocket League. They've got all sorts of third-party games now on the Switch, and more to come, which, for me, makes the Switch even more interesting than any of the other previous Nintendo consoles. So
it was a tough decision between the PS4 and the Switch, but in the end of the day, I just really wanted to play that new Spider-Man game.
Yeah,
it looks so cool.
A lot of good things about that. Right.
I mean, it is sad when they have, like, as you say, exclusive games, because there are people that want to play the odd exclusive game, but to purchase a PlayStation or an Xbox just to play those games, I kind of think, no, I will, live without them.
I suppose it also.
I understand that. That's why I waited till Black Friday for mine. There was a bundle. I think I got the console plus Red Dead Redemption 2 and a second controller for $200.
I suppose it kind of
no $300. So yeah, the whole bundle was $300, and when you take out the price of Red Dead and the extra controller, I feel like I really got a PS4 for less than $250 or less than $200.
Yeah,
I suppose again, it kind of, it depends on what sort of console you've grown up with as well. Because I know a lot of people who've grown up, say, with an Xbox and an Xbox 360, and they're savage Microsoft fans who won't go away from Xbox. But on my hand, I've only ever grown up with Sony, so I've had a PS1, I've had a PS2, I've had a PS3. I probably won't get a PS4 because I don't want to have to pay for online, that sort of thing.
That's exactly it for me too. Yeah,
we've gone into. I've moved.
You have to pay extra to play online on PS4.
Yeah.
I had no idea. I'm probably not going to play online.
It's not as bad as the Xbox is. You can communicate. You can still play some limited functionality of online, but now what used to be PlayStation Plus from the PS3 has turned into what you need to kind of do just about everything else in the new PSN. And honestly, I could probably be guilty of paying more money for Xbox Live without having the physical console than anybody else. I used to go over to my friend's house, and I would just keep the subscription on, thinking I'd be there more in the month, and then I just don't.
Well, Xbox Live isn't too bad. What is it, $60 a year? This is like the price of a game a year.
Something like that, yeah.
But I haven't paid for either online service in more than 12 years. I've been PC only for so long.
Yeah.
So I doubt I'm going to pay for it again, because I'm really only buying it for the single-player exclusives.
Yeah.
The Last of Us, that's another one I wanted to mention. The Last of Us I really want to try out, because it looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I started to just recently play GTA 5. Must say, I play it extremely badly. I'm not going to tell you how badly and what is badly on it, but I'm going to be practicing it for a little while. But what I eventually really want to do is start playing the role play part of GTA. Has anyone ever had any experiences in that?
That's the 5M thing, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
No, I haven't done any of that. Really, the only thing I've done in GTA Online was the heist mode. I did all the heists when they were first released, but that's it.
I've got a friend
I haven't
who...
played it forever, though.
Yeah. I've got a friend who told me about 5M, but I never managed to get it working, so I've not played it, but it does seem somewhat interesting to me.
Yeah, I'll have to see if I can get that part working, because I haven't got to that stage yet. But when I do get to that stage, it might be a good idea, if there is a few of us, to go on there and do a role play. It'd be quite good fun, I think.
Yeah, could do.
Sure,
Wind
yeah.
up the policeman. Go around there and wind up the policeman. Because I've seen a lot of videos where they wind up the policeman, and it's just so funny.
Yeah. Right, let's move on. If anyone's got any, let's say, music news, please speak now, or forever hold your peace.
Not really any real news, some personal news. I've really gotten into house lately. I don't know what it is about it, but yeah, house music. I just, when I'm sitting there studying or playing games, it's just like the same thing, monotonous. It's a pretty good jam.
Oh, I'm the same way. We actually just had it's called a local hack day, and we ran that at the university yesterday, and one of the speakers was actually talking about music and computers, and what he was going into detail with was a program called SonicPi, SONIPI, and it's a program that you can run on Linux or Windows, and you actually code your electronic music. We had a guy who spent about 2 to 3 hours making a track that he presented at the end of the day, and honestly, it was really good. And a lot of stuff there was actually some RNG in there that randomly generated some new elements as the track played. And when the beat dropped and it really went, you got to think of like Unreal Tournament 99 and Unreal Tournament 2004 era music, and that's what it was really listening to. That's what I was listening to, and it was really good. I really enjoyed it. It was very I wanted to play the damn game when I got home.
See, with me, I've been getting a lot into music genres like I tend to listen to quite a lot of lo-fi at the moment, like lo-fi hip-hop and things like that, and just hip-hop in general.
I've been listening to that also. There's a YouTube radio station that I've really been enjoying. Yeah, that has some lo-fi hip-hop that I've been listening to as well.
Yeah. It's good stuff.
The piano is really what gets me. I like just listening to the pianos going, doing their thing.
I'll tell you what, if we're talking about piano...
Reminds me of a rainy day.
Yeah, if we're talking about sort of things like that, then deadmau5 brought out a new track recently called Drama Free. That I've had to listen to it a couple of times to know exactly what opinion I've got on it, and I must say, it's a good song, but there's only parts of it that I absolutely love to call it a really good song. There's the thing that deadmau5 can do or does in certain parts of his music, where he has like the bass percussion melody playing, and he'll have a beautiful string quartet over the top of it with a really fitting sort of minor key over it, and it just works so well. And he's got that in this new track, Drama Free, and if it wasn't for that part in this song, for that breakdown, I don't think I'd like it as much as I do, but I really do love it.
Yeah,
You'll have to send me it. I want to listen to that. Sounds nice.
I've always been a fan of Deadmau5. However, I haven't had a chance to really listen to any of the newer tracks myself, personally.
I'd suggest, if you wanted to listen to more recent Deadmau5, I would suggest listening to Monophobia and Drama Free, because so far those are the two that he's brought out recently that I really listen to quite a lot, you know.
I'm guessing you fans of Deadmau5 knows why he's called Deadmau5.
I know a story that he's told interviewers about why he's got that name, and it's something to do with one of his PCs, isn't it?
Yeah,
I thought it was his speaker.
No, it was his PC. The original.
It was his PC. Yeah, actually,
the original story of it, I remember reading it on Pandora, actually. And it was that when he had first started getting online, and the internet was still kind of a new thing, he had actually found a Deadmau5 in his computer. And and his friends had started calling him Deadmau5 Man. That was actually the full.
He found a dead mouse inside his
Yeah.
computer.
Yeah, he did.
Wow.
And so his friends and his buddies, his flatmates, were all calling him Deadmau5 Man. And when IRC and the turnabout of the internet started coming around, one of his first usernames in chat room was limited on characters. So instead of having full Deadmau5 Man, which was what he had been using up to that point, he had limited to Deadmau5. MOU, what is it? 5? Yeah.
Yeah.
He limited it to that, and it just stuck.
It's MAU5.
That's what I said.
You said OU5.
Oh, yeah, MA5. Because it was limited here. And that's literally how that name came about. And then he, it took off.
Yeah. Yeah, I heard that. That's quite funny.
I've never been that much into Deadmau5, so I'll listen to this and see if my opinions change or not.
What are we looking at for time here? I have just closed my Google Chrome completely. That was a mistake. We're about an hour and 30 minutes. So yeah, any random topics that aren't like related to anything in particular that we may have or anything?
You may have heard the rumours that Google is supposed to be listening to us at all times.
It is.
It is, yeah. I watched a video on it today. Someone did an experiment, and it was really weird. I mean, like he was doing like a face video, so you could see his face, and he said, "I'm going to be talking about this subject in a minute," and he showed you a card with the subject written on it. So everybody could read what subject he was going to talk about. And he's like, well, first of all, cause basically what they're saying is that Google is listening to us to see what we talk about in the ways of what they can advertise to us.
Was it about like dog food or dog toys?
It was, yeah. You saw the same
I saw
one,
the
though,
same video, yeah.
You saw it too.
It's creepy.
Yeah. It was. The thing is, I saw something that he didn't even see. Did you see it? I mean, the fact that as soon as he brought the page up, after he started talking about the dog toys, it was already there, and he missed it because he was on this like folk thing or folk website that was giving him like headings of all different websites. He was trying to click on those to go into those websites, but it was already there. There was a bulldog, not a bulldog, a dog with a toy in his mouth, and he didn't even see that. I saw it. It's like, oh my god, look, there's a dog there in the corner with a toy in its mouth.
Oh my god, it's a dog with a toy.
Yeah, I know.
It has to be terrifying.
But that's not that it's terrifying. It's just amazing that, you know, he was telling us what he was going to talk about. And then he started having a brief conversation about dog toys. And then he went on the internet and it was advertising dog toys.
See, the only problem with that is that I could see that there could have been preparation for that, because I know how some of these algorithms work. So if you're going to be going on to, say, Amazon or any other retailers online, and you're going to be searching for dog food, he could have quite easily just spent 1 or 2 days, or a couple of hours even, just searching loads of different dog food or dog toy websites.
Yeah.
All right.
And I can set that algorithm down for
I can counter this point. So another kind of instance of this that kind of disproves what you're saying, Plasma, is that a friend of mine, a coworker, he just recently had a kid. It was probably coming up on almost a year now. All right.
Oh, nice.
Now, when his wife had found out that she was pregnant, they kind of kept it hush hush. Okay, but since he hadn't told anybody yet, he had Facebook open on his work computer, and I shared an office with him at the time, and he was telling me about it. He's just like, yeah, we haven't really told anybody yet. And he looks on Facebook, he scrolls down, and the next thing he sees is an ad for baby diapers, and he goes, that's actually kind of creepy. He goes, I haven't told anybody yet. You're like one of the first people here that I've talked to about my child. He goes, and in this time, we both knew exactly what was going on, but we were just like, so from the time that he was talking to me about the fact that his wife is now pregnant, to turned around to start scrolling down on his computer, Google had recorded the audio from his phone. It had sold the data to other ad providers, in which Facebook was able to appropriately serve the ad content most appropriate.
Yeah, I mean, you could probably do the experiment yourself. I mean, if there's a subject that you have never researched, never talked about, has absolutely nothing to do with you whatsoever, go for searching, just have a look at what adverts are being advertised your way.
Yeah, there's somewhere you can see a list of your preferred topics.
Yeah, and then talk about that one thing that is completely not relevant to you at all for like a few minutes, and then go back and search and see if that topic is there. You could do it yourself.
I'll tell you what, let's do this now. So I'm going to close this episode with this. I really want to get a Ken doll from Mattel. Let's all chip together and buy a Hive 365 branded Ken doll from Mattel, and we're gonna see if that comes up.
Someone's going through They found him. They found
all
out
that data that he's sending back.
cutting his connection.
So you want a Ken doll then, Plasma? You don't want a
Ken doll from Mattel.
You want a Ken doll.
Specifically, I want specifically the Ken doll, which they sold accidentally with the... How do I put this PC? They sold a Ken doll a few years ago which had a phallic ring as a necklace. And... yeah. But yes, let's get a Ken doll, yeah? And maybe a couple of Barbies on the side.
I can't wait for my Ken doll from Mattel to come in for Hive 365.
Yeah.
We'll have to reconvene for the next podcast with our results and see if anyone has Ken dolls from Mattel showing up on their phones.
Yeah, see if anyone's still alive.
Right, so let's leave you with the last couple of things here. Sharks love jazz, apparently, and someone has... Canadian zoo has been charged for taking a bear out for ice cream. So yeah, that's what the world's like these days. Yeah.
I wish someone would take me out for ice cream.
Yeah, I know.
I don't want ice cream. It's too freaking cold.
You've been listening to episode 2 of the HiveCast. We have finally made a second episode to this thing. You've been listening to me, Plasma Sonico Boom. We've also been joined by Fargis.
Hello and goodbye.
We've also had Cool Guy.
Hello, and yeah, I don't know if I'll be happy to see you guys next time or not.
Whoa.
I'm kidding.
Again, let's hope it's not 3 years.
I'm kidding. I love you all. I'll still be here in 3 years. Who are you? What are you talking about? I'm not leaving Hive. As long as Hive is still around.
Well, we did this much sooner than the last one, so we're really, I mean, you look at the percentage-wise, we're like 90% much better than the last time.
Right, and finally we were joined by Snapple.
Thanks for listening, everybody, and I will see you later.
Thanks very much for listening, and we will see you next time. Bye.
Oh my god, bye.
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 I'm DJ Fargis, and you've been listening to HiveCast. It was recorded a few weeks before Christmas, so some of the subjects that we have discussed within it is probably a little bit outdated. I know one of the subjects where I was talking about the Bethesda canvas bags, that has now been resolved. I'm aware of that now, thank you. They have promised to send out proper canvas bags to everyone that bought it, so at least they're correcting their problem in the end. But they've also now got one of their bottles that look like a spaceship, supposed to be rum. Being told or heard through YouTube, the rum is really bad, and it isn't the bottle that's made to look like a spaceship. They've got a plastic cover on the outside. They put the glass bottle inside it. So yeah, that's pretty naff too. So Bethesda has done it again. And I think they've done a few other things since then as well. Their leather jacket doesn't look that great when the model is not wearing it. Their blue leather jacket with 76 on it. Well, all I can say is good luck, Bethesda. But yes, I am aware that things had moved on since we did the recording of this. I hope you've enjoyed it anyway. We really enjoy making them. Hopefully we're going to be bringing out another one soon. It just takes me a long time to sort it out and get it up and get it on my channel. So sorry about that. But I do hope you enjoyed it. Want to subscribe and click that bell. You will be informed of any new videos that I put out, especially you'll be one of the first to know that I've put out yet another HiveCast. We're hoping to get another one out at some point. We haven't recorded it as of yet, of this date, but we hope to, I am pretty sure soon. It's just getting everybody at the same time in the same place. Because some of us are not from the UK, some of us are in America. So it is really, really hard to sort of get our time zones at the same time that we can all be on. Do appreciate that. I hope you enjoy it. Give this video a like, share it with all your friends. We had a really great laugh. See you in the next one.
Drive home safely. I am DJ Fargis, and I'm out of here.